What do we know at this stage?
What we know, Tom, is that the U.S. Commerce Department has added 58 Chinese companies to the list of entities tied to the Chinese military. Biggest names among those include AVIC, the Chinese company that's making the new wide-body plane that would eventually challenge Boeing and Airbus.
John, what has China been saying about its new foreign investment restrictions?
Well, so China unveiled these new rules for national security reviews of investments by foreign companies into China. China is spinning it as a sign that China is getting ready to open up. The National Development Reform Commission saying recently that only by protecting national security can then China open up its markets to more foreign investment. So that's how China's spinning it. Obviously, there's concern among foreign investors and foreign companies about the scope in which national security is defined. So it's not only military, but resources, agriculture, energy, even internet technology.
John, just going back to the list that the US has drawn up, I believe now in total you've got around 90 Chinese companies that the US says have ties to the Chinese military and therefore face these restrictions. How significant is it more broadly for these companies? Do we have an idea yet, a sense yet, as to what these restrictions will mean in practice for some of these companies?
So the restrictions will quite sharply reduce the ability of these companies to buy certain technology from American suppliers. And so one company, SMIC, China's leading chip maker, after they were put on the list last week, they came out and said, this is really going to hurt our ability to get to the cutting edge of technology. And so I think that is the concern for the Chinese companies being put on the list, that they're really going to be stymied in terms of innovation, in terms of what they can hope to achieve for new products, new technologies. And it would seem that would be the motivation for why the U.S. is putting these companies on that list.
John, is there a sense that perhaps the Biden administration may backtrack on this list?
So Joe Biden did tell the New York Times recently that he planned to, when he came into office, do a review of U.S. policy towards China and not take any immediate action. He was specifically at that point talking about the tariffs that have been put in by the Trump administration, but I think it probably applies to these companies and these lists as well. I would expect Joe Biden to do a review before he takes any immediate action.